Are you looking forward to going to Vegas? Have you been to Vegas? Do you know about Vegas? And they've got a casino out there called Paris if you ever really feel like some home food.
No, that's gonna be my first time. I've never been to Vegas, so that's gonna be fun.
Noah, we had a chance to speak briefly when you were exiting the floor yesterday, and I'll be seeing plenty of you as the broadcaster for the Bulls. But what has your world been like over the last, week and a half since the draft or so? What has it been like? Take us through your journey.
I mean, that was just, coming here, make some people see my new teammates, the new organization, see the coaching staff, the medical staff, for everything was ready. And yeah, just visit the city. I go on a boat, do like a little tour of river. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked great. I'm just curious. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started playing basketball? I read that you were 12. I read that you kind of followed your brother from sport to sport, whether it was judo at one point, whatever he was doing, you ended up doing. And he started with basketball, and then obviously you followed him into that sport as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was a little bit like my role model. I just follow him everywhere, in every sports. And one day, he started playing basketball. So I just say, yeah, why not? I want to try too. And yeah, since when I just love it, and I just keep going.
Did you grow up as a soccer fan or a soccer player? We think about France and, some of the great, PSG. We think about some of the great World Cup teams, etc. As a growing up in France, are you pushed towards soccer? But boy, I mean, you're obviously very tall. You'd be a hell of a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I love soccer. I think that's my second favorite sports. I'm a big fan of PSG, and I play soccer, but not in a club, just on the street with my friends and all that. But yeah, I'm a big soccer fan.
The France in its own right, as far as basketball is concerned, take me through the process of picking up a ball at 12. And all these French players are coming into the NBA, and not only coming into the NBA, but they're making an impact in the NBA. What is the system like in France as far as the development of young basketball players, both men and women? And are you when you observe what's happened in that country, why is it so effective? What is the magic secret sauce, so to speak, about basketball in your country?
I think the main point is just they really teach young people to always working hard, go to the gym, really be consistent on everything you do, on a court, out of court, don't do some crazy thing. And yeah, we got some great organization INSEP in Paris as well. Some big club will really help people to have everything in the same place, school and basketball for have a double project. And I think that's the main point.
How do they teach you guys to be so tall? You're depending on where we look, you're 6'9" or 6'10". You're a young man. Are you still growing? Do you think you've got 6'11" in you?
Yeah, I think I'm still going up a little bit, but I don't know how they do it in France. Everybody's pretty tall. I don't know
how. We talked about your playing in the Bundesliga of basketball in Germany, and just the idea that you must have been 16 when you first started with your professional team, which is kind of, you see that all the time with soccer clubs. But you're playing with grown men, right? I mean, last year in the first division, you're playing against guys that are, pretty much significantly older than you. What is it like? You have an advantage with your height, and obviously you're a great athlete. But these are big men with meat on their bones. There are guys leaning on you and hitting you. What's the physical nature like of that league?
Yeah, I think that's just helpful. That's helped you to have more confidence, more experience on everything. Play against some guy who play in NBA. This year I played against Pat Bev in Tel Aviv. That's just helpful for everything on basketball. You can just learn how they play, how they read the courts. So I think that's just helpful.
No, and I know the time difference from Chicago to Paris, what is 6, 7 hours, whatever the case may be. Did you watch a lot of NBA ball while you were competing in France? I mean, were you cognizant of this team is on at such and such time, or there are a few games televised in Paris? How did that work out for you as far as your connection with the NBA?
I think most of the time I just watching on the weekend because you got nothing. On the wake up, when I wake up, I go to breakfast. I just turn the TV on, and you got like all the recap of the game. So that was like the time I watched like the game, NBA game, and all that in US.
How much did you know about the Bulls before the draft? Did you know much about the team or the players or?
Yeah, we talk a lot, so I know a little bit about the franchise. That's something like really big. That's one of the best one of the world. So yeah, I know the history. I know the team. I already know the coach and all that. So I was a little bit ready.
It's kind of fascinating to hear you tell the way that you picked your number. So obviously you're 24. You had been 12. And you doubled that up because you're not going to be able to get 12. But you also doing a nod to Kobe Bryant, and you have talked about the mamba mentality. What does that mean to you? Explain that to us.
I mean, for me, that's mean everything. I love this mentality, always working hard, no matter what. If you're in a bad mood, on a good mood, like if you play well, if you play bad, always go to the gym. Work on everything, every aspect of your game, and always compete. I think that's the most important thing. Like on the court, off the court, I always want to win. So that's why.
All right, I've got 2 quick questions for you, Noah. Number 1, how is practice going? What is practice like for you?
That's going pretty well. We do a lot of, right now we do a lot of, collective for be ready for Vegas. But the first week I do a lot of individual practice, shooting, dribble, and all that stuff. But that's going pretty good.
Okay, so one other question I've got for you. You're 18 years old, and a lot of 18-year-old young people enjoy video games. They like to do other stuff. What do you do when you're not playing basketball?
I mean, I just, try to talk with my family because, yeah, like you say, with the timeline difference, we got 7 hours, so we don't have that much time for talking. So I just try, to talk with them, call them, play video games with them.
I read somewhere that your mom's in town with you right now. Is she going to be will she be here during the season? What is your arrangement once the year begins?
Yeah, she stayed for the first year.
Oh, great. That's awesome. You get home cooking and you have everyone needs their mom around them, for God's sake. That's wonderful.
I mean, what was the longest duration you spent in the United States? Did you ever come to the United States prior to being drafted?
No, I don't have any tryouts, but I come a few times. I come last year for BWB, and I also come some few times for just workouts in the summer or for holiday.
So we know that everyone says, anyway, that you can pretty much defend any position on the floor. And your defense is the best thing about your game, but you're also a great finisher at the rim. You can block shots. We keep hearing that you're really good passing the basketball. You got some handle. What are you proudest about in your game?
I mean, just my versatility, the way I can play multiple positions. I think that's the most thing right now.
How are you working on your scoring? Do you consider yourself a good scorer? Does it come easily to you, or is it more difficult? What can you tell us about your offense?
No, for sure, I work on it. Like I said, I do a lot of individual practice for be ready, shooting, dribble, finishing close to the rim, because you can always get better at everything. So I always work on it.
Noah, you know what? There are NBA moments, and I'm sure as a young man growing up watching NBA players, is there one player, I'm not saying compare yourself to other players because that's not fair to you, but is there one player you're looking forward to when you step on the floor where you're face to face with him and say to yourself, I can't believe I'm actually here and I'm standing right next to this guy? Who would that next guy be?
I would say Paul George. Yeah, that's like my favorite player. So, yeah, just can compete against him. That's going to be good.
You know, it's really fun to hear about your competitiveness, and particularly how, you and Matas Buzelis have competed against each other in practice, not just played together. And I think that as a tandem, that's going to be a ton of fun to see on Friday night. But what about going against him? Has that helped you thus far?
Yeah, I think that's really good. He already played 1 year in NBA. He played really good. He can do everything on the court. And, he also pretty young, so that's like a little bit like my role model here. So I try to be like close to him, talk a lot, we exchange a lot in practice, after practice. So yeah, that's really nice to can, compete against each other and just help each other to get better.
Well, you know what? We're looking forward to seeing you, and I'm delighted the fact that you're not only energetic on the court, but also, I mean, just hearing your voice, and you're very humble and you're very grateful, and I think that's obviously a testimony to the way you grew up with your family and whatnot. So, welcome to Chicago. You took the boat ride. What else have you done in the city, or have you had?
He threw out the first pitch.
You threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, right.
Do you like baseball?
That was my first baseball game. That was pretty nice. I don't understand everything, but that was pretty nice.
That's all right, because I'll tell you what, we don't understand everything that goes on from time to time during a baseball game. But
wait till we get you to a football game.
Do you know anything about the Chicago Bears?
No.
You wait until you see the National Football League, Noah. I mean, I don't think the NFL has played a game in Paris, or
no, I don't think they've been in France yet.
Yes,
but there is that World League, wasn't there?
Yeah,
they did some stuff.
So Noah, the Bulls played the Pistons in Paris a few years ago.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to call that game. Were you at that game?
Yeah, I was there because my agent worked with Kylian Ace, so I was at the game.
And here, fast forward, here you are, a member of the Bulls. But I loved being in Paris for a week. It's such a wonderful, wonderful city.
Yeah, that's an amazing city.
Hey, Noah, congratulations. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck moving forward. We're going to have a lot of fun watching you, and we're delighted you're in town.
Thank you.
All right, Noah, we'll let you go. Thank you.
See you, Noah. That's great
Have
stuff.
a good day.
You too, buddy.